Hello happy souls, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Twins 1111. My beautiful friends, I'm so excited to do another reading for you today, and more so because there are just so many of you at the moment. I've had so many new subscribers in recent weeks, so I just want to welcome you all. Thank you so much for joining me here. It really is a pleasure to share these readings with you. And you know, in case you are new here, I just want to remind you that these readings are as much for me as they are for you. I learn so much through sharing all of these readings with you. A lot of people watch my readings, they think, oh my God, Charlotte's so wise, but I'm really not. I'm just like you. The information I bring through is channeled. It comes through me, not from me. So I'm learning alongside you, and that's such an honor and a privilege. And I really appreciate, having this space and opportunity to do that with you and to progress my own journey alongside you. So thank you so very much. Now, I also want to remind you that I am giving away this beautiful piece of serpentine. Let me see if I can pick it up without disturbing the grid. You can see it's huge. Now, I bought this recently from a company called Carpe Crystals. I don't normally buy crystals online because I like to handle them before I receive them. But in this case, I saw so much beautiful stock online, I couldn't resist. And this company has been amazing. I also bought these two from them. And I am hosting a giveaway for this crystal specifically. So if you would like to be in with a chance of winning this, it will be Reiki charged before it's shipped and sent with some other treats. Make sure you check out my previous video. It's called This Is a Sign You've Been Asking For. It was posted literally just before this one. And you can find all the instructions to enter the giveaway there. And I will announce the winner on Sunday. Also, I would like to say a very big thank you. Oh, just dropped the box. Let me pick it up. To the very generous souls that sent me these decks. This is the Crystal Grid deck, perfect for me. We are using it in today's reading. Unfortunately, these two didn't come with a message. In fact, this one didn't as well, but one of my students contacted me to ask if I'd received it. I think Amazon dropped the ball sometimes and forget to include the messages. So if you sent me these, and thank you, Liliana, just sending you my deepest gratitude. I appreciate it so much. If you would like to exchange energy by way of donating a deck, you can find my Amazon wishlist in the description box below. It does help to keep my readings fresh, and I'm so very grateful to you for that. Thank you again. So let's move forward with our reading today. We are asking, what do you need to know about this person? What aren't you seeing? What aren't you acknowledging, or what is hidden from you? And we're hoping to bring through all of the messages that are going to help you move forward with this person, this situation, for your highest good. So take your time choosing a pile. There's no right or wrong way. If you're new to pick a card readings, it's just a case of seeing what pile you're drawn to. You might be drawn to more than one pile, and that's okay as well. It just means there's more than one message in there for you. I'm going to bring them up close so you can choose. This is pile 1. It's the Light Seers Tarot with this serpentine heart. In pile number 2, we've got the deck of Celestials with this Black Shimmer Moonstone. And in pile number 3, we have the Moon Power Tarot with this Celestite heart. So the timestamps are in the description box below. That allows you to jump straight to your pile. Take your time choosing. Pause the video if you feel you need to. You can douse over them. Whatever works for you. I will see you at your pile. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Light Seers Tarot with this serpentine heart, and we are asking today, what do you need to know about your person? What aren't you seeing? What's hidden from you? What is the important information that you need to receive to help you understand this situation better and move forward for your highest good? We're going to go super in depth, super detailed. We're also using oracle cards today and the charms, and there will be an extended reading as well if this resonates for you. If you skip the intro today, don't forget to check out my giveaway for this beautiful piece of serpentine here. You can find all the information in my previous video. That's where the giveaway is hosted. This Is a Sign You've Been Asking For video posted just before this one. It closes on Sunday, so if you would like to be in with a chance of winning that, make sure that you check it out on that video. Okay. Pile 1, what do you need to know about your person? Take a nice long deep breath for me, or 2 or 3 if it feels appropriate. Just calm yourself and close your eyes and hold your person that you're inquiring about in mind. Ask the universe to deliver the messages you need, and you can ask for a sign as well if you'd like. That can be anything. It could be an object, a symbol, a phrase, numbers, an animal, anything that works for you. And that just helps to anchor the messages that come through. It helps to validate that it was meant for you. It's wonderful to give the universe opportunities to deliver those signs. I get so many people say, oh my God, I asked for a sign in this reading, and I don't know, say it was, I don't know, a rabbit or something. And then I just keep seeing that same sign everywhere and everywhere. And that's just the universe's way of saying, I'm here for you, I hear you, you know, we've got your back. And so it's a beautiful way to interact with spirit, especially if you're not feeling particularly in tune with your own psychic senses. You know, that gives the universe an opportunity to communicate with you in a way that you can receive. But let's go ahead and do your reading. Pile 1. What do you need to know about this person? We've got the 4 of Wands in reverse, the 5 of Cups in reverse, the 7 of Swords, and the Empress. Oh, that turned over, so we'll keep it. The 8 of Swords. That comes up so much in all my readings lately. You know, quite often there's collective shifts, and even though we're all going through different circumstances, the energies that present are often similar. Page of Cups, 6 of Cups, and the 2 of Cups in reverse. Let's get some oracle cards as well. I'm going to start with these Mystic Mondays Crystal Grid deck. I still don't know who this was from. Thank you so much if you sent me this. It's such a cool deck. I absolutely adore it. They're not the easiest ones to shuffle, but if you like working with crystals, this can give you a lovely sign as to what's appropriate for you to work with healing wise with this specific reading or personal situation. And there's no right or wrong way to work with crystals. You can literally just hold them when you go to sleep. I like to put the mini ones in my bra. It's a perfect place to keep them close to me. You can wear them as jewelry, hold them when you're meditating. I work with them very intuitively. Even though I studied crystal healing, I work with the crystals I'm drawn to rather than what the books suggest for specific things. And if you're ever in doubt and you don't know what to work with, I always recommend you choose clear quartz, because you can program that with any intention or energy. It's my favourite crystal for that reason. I have so much clear quartz. Okay, what have we got here? This one, sodalite, agate, one more, and garnet. Okay, and from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, we've got scorpion and fire ant, the golden egg, and the fox. I will pull more cards as we go, but we'll just get what's out, go with what can fit on the table to begin with. What else am I picking up here? Let's go with these ones. This is the True Love reading cards. Oh, okay, they wanted to come out. We've got resolving conflict and creativity. And where are we going next? From the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Reunited deck, we've got Convoom, God of Love, number 11. Persephone, Goddess of Endurance. Anubis, God of Protection. Number 9, Boundaries. And one more, Miscommunication. So I will draw more cards as we go, but we're going to start with what's here. So pile 1, what do you need to know about this person? What are you not seeing, not acknowledging? What's hidden from you? Just feeling into the energies here to get a feel for your storyline first. So there's definitely been some kind of conflict here. We've got the miscommunication and resolving conflict energies. And I feel like you guys moved into this union energy, and not one of you, but both of you got cold feet around that. I feel like you very much thought you were ready for union, and your person did as well, but it kind of went awry. I'm picking up a tremendous amount of anxiety for you in particular here. And I just want to send you some love and some light and try and activate some healing around that for you. Because I do feel that there's a lot of unprocessed grief and anger here, that you're both being very prideful and very stubborn. Now, straight off the bat, there is quite a lot of air energy here There's lots of water energies, so that's Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. We've got a little bit of fire energy as well, but it is air and water dominated. And these are quite, I don't want to say opposing energies, that's the wrong word, but of course it feels like a clash between heart and mind. And even this sodalite card here, it says logic, instincts and rationality. So, you know, I think both of you are very much in this energy of being torn between what's in the heart and what's in the mind. I'm hearing that your person, you know, they wanted union with you. They didn't run or separate from you because they didn't want that. It was more the case that coming towards you or coming towards one another in that way triggered those deep-rooted fears that still hadn't been healed or resolved. You know, when we actually get what we want, then we really have to face the fear we have about losing it. So there was a great weight of abandonment and rejection wounding here that wasn't processed. And so as you came closer together, all of that kind of triggered and went off like fireworks, and it resulted in this kind of conflict and you both pushing one another away. I'm hearing that it may feel to you like they pushed you away and that you felt you had no choice to step away from this situation. You felt that this person was dishonest or didn't deal with the situation in an emotionally mature way. And this miscommunication card is really revealing, because we see here that the divine feminine energy, well, actually divine feminine energy can be held by a male and vice versa, but we see here that there's a number 6 over the feminine and a number 9 over the masculine. Now 6 is the number of unconditional love, 9 is the number of the hermit, the energy of solitude, and the bit that they're dealing with in the middle is number 6. So we're seeing that the masculine simply isn't on the same page. He cannot align with the same energy of unconditional love. He's still very self-focused, still very much in the dark and trying to figure out his own fear-based trauma, which inhibits him from showing up in an emotionally mature and open way. And again, with this 8 of Swords, so interesting the way it's depicted here, because we see this person, we can see that they're fine, but in the mirror image of themselves, they're trapped, they're bound, they're trapped, they can't see what's happening. So this person is very much up in their head. You know, they are very distracted by fears and by the logic and rationale around this. And they just don't feel equipped to be in this relationship. They don't feel good enough. They don't feel that they have enough value to offer you. We've got this 5 of Cups reverse here, and at the root of this, you know, is this energy of just being still broken and hurt by some kind of previous letdown or connection. There is unresolved grief here, and this just makes them feel like a love and union is impossible. The Page of Cups is a very immature energy, and we've got this pigs might fly symbol here as well, look. And so it feels like they just can't align with the belief that this can work out. They are so tormented by the idea that they're going to end up being rejected and left, and they really don't want to ruin what already exists in this connection. This person knows that you are soulmates. We've got this 6 of Cups energy here, but we also have the 7 of Swords. And look at this. This is someone that's sneaking around and just can't, you know, when they're in the light, they feel so exposed. You know, they feel so vulnerable, and they just don't know how to show up in that mature way. But there is a powerful friendship here. I'm really drawn to how in this 6 of Cups you see this, you know, the child with the dog and then this grown version of them. It does feel like you've been in each other's lives for a very long time, and there's a very beautiful friendship and a great deal of love between you. But this fear is very present in this connection, and this person, you know, to you it may seem very illogical, because, you know, we can't judge every prospective love interest by the experiences or relationships we've had in the past, but it's easier said than done when it comes to actually letting go of that fear that's been built up through trauma, through betrayal, through negative experiences in love, to just let it go and allow our hearts to flow. Just feels very scary and vulnerable for this person. They really admire and value the friendship that exists between you, and it feels like you, the viewer, has done a great deal of healing and growth, which is what allowed the connection to come forward in the first place. But as I said, it feels like it got really close, and then your person started getting twitchy cold feet. That kind of triggered you to feel insecure, and both of you went on the defensive, and it resulted in this conflict. And your person's absolutely devastated about this. Now, I'm hearing that what needed to happen here is that you both just needed to move slowly. But the anticipation was so great. You know, this union has been so long in the making that when push came to shove, both of you just got terrified. And again, I'm hearing the viewer that you perhaps, you know, see yourself as being very justified in having stepped away. You're not recognizing that you were triggered too, and that you also responded from a place of fear. It's really interesting that the Scorpion comes up here as well, because Scorpio energy is very secretive. You know, it is very confrontational. It's got that sting in the tail, which is highlighted here with yellow. And remember, yellow is the color of the solar plexus. That's our trigger center. And so I feel very strongly that this person, you know, both of you, in fact, because there is a collaborative effort here with the fire ant and that very similar image, that both of you, you know, had lava spewing from you when this situation kicked off. And, you know, there was this kind of conflict that came about. The Fox is also a very strategic energy. And as with this Seven of Swords, this person feeling very vulnerable, not being able to show up authentically, you know, they're still very much holding on to this energy of strategy and needing to play games. Now, even though there was this conflict and miscommunication, I'm hearing that despite your frustrations and pride, you did communicate from a place of love. And they really admire that balance and harmony that exists within you, and your potential to actually have these very deep and beautiful conversations. We've got the Empress energy here. This is divine feminine energy. You know, this is really powerful that this is showing up, because they really do see you as being this very ascended and wise old soul. You know, they love that even when there's conflict between you, you still manage to find a place. So you still manage to communicate from a place of love, from a place of respect and mutual desire for resolution. They've never encountered conflict like that. You know, their experience of conflict is really harsh. And so it's absolutely inspiring for them to recognize that conflict, you know, it can be heated, it can be full of upset. And, you know, people can get defensive, but it can also be controlled, you know, and that's to say that, you know, you don't show up in a bitter or hateful way. You don't say things that you really regret. You may be direct or blunt sometimes, but this person really does receive the energy in the way that it's intended, and they really respect that about you. But it definitely feels like it's the divine feminine that pulled back here. You know, because she was very concerned that what was on offer wasn't stable. She felt the masculine getting cold feet, pulling back slightly, and her attitude was, I'm not doing this again. You know, I'm off. And I'm really drawn to this shoal of fish that's on her shoulders. Now, I've often described the divine feminine collective as being in waves, and when I've described it like that, what I channeled was it's like a shoal of fish, an energy that moves together, and we can see, if we look very closely, that all of these fish are pulling her backwards. So I do think there was a collective shift that triggered you as well, that triggered that need to kind of step back, reassess, and, you know, it's a little bit of running energy here, which I think you're very surprised to find yourself in. You know, I don't think you saw yourself as an avoidant energy in this connection, or as the runner, but what I'm seeing happening here is that you were triggered too. Your pride was triggered, your fear of loss and abandonment was triggered. You were both actually mirroring the same energies. You know, things are still incubating, and, you know, it's about to hatch, is what I'm hearing. You guys are on the straight and narrow. You are on the union path, but there is still some work to be done. And again, so much yellow energy here, again, in the background of the divine feminine. You know, even though we've got all of this blue energy, and, you know, this energy of creation, which blue is the color of the throat chakra. It shows up a lot here when connected to authenticity. Interestingly, in the cards where authenticity is lacking, you know, so blockages in the throat chakra. But the yellow of the solar plexus, again, is that trigger energy. It's what, you know, and the reason I describe it as trigger energy is that the solar plexus is responsive to how we feel about ourselves, our sense of self, our sense of confidence, esteem and self-worth. It's all stored there in the solar plexus. So when that center is triggered, you know, by pre-existing wounds, that's where we kind of feel all of that power and drive to take action. And that's what's intended to happen. So, you know, there's a message for you here not to feel disheartened. Actually, your connection is very, very evolved and it's moving forward in a really positive way. It may not feel that way right now because there is this miscommunication and conflict. And, you know, I'm seeing here that it is connected to boundaries. I want to make this okay for you because what I'm hearing about your person that you perhaps haven't acknowledged yet is that they weren't deliberately crossing your boundaries. This person genuinely doesn't understand where they cross the line. And I know that's frustrating for you because it makes you think, well, if they don't understand, we can't resolve it. But, you know, as well, they weren't intending to disrespect you. And I think it's important to discern between the two energies, between someone that's deliberately being, you know, a bit of a mess head and trying to confuse you or gain control, and someone that's literally just flailing around, trying their best not to agitate you, but also, you know, struggling to understand how they really feel or how they should show up, and kind of in this semi-avoidant energy, still not ready to reveal their true self or their feelings. So they just got cold feet and they didn't know how to have that conversation with you. So, you know, they just kind of slowly started pulling back and then you took action for them. You know, it was you that kind of put the brakes on this. We've got God of Love here, you know, and this is a number 11 card. They're holding the rabbit, a symbol of the divine feminine and creation. And also they've got this bird of prey here, which is a symbol of spirit, higher messages, higher perspective. And what this really demonstrates for me is that this person cares very deeply. They understand what this connection is. They just don't know how to fully embody it, but they want it. You know, we've got Goddess of Endurance here, Persephone, and this is a number 9 card. Remember, this is where your masculine's focus is on this hermit energy. They're very introspective. They're trying to work it out. And again, we have this mirror image, and you see that what she's seeing in the mirror isn't what's real. She's wearing a blue dress here. Remember, I said that's the color of the throat chakra, the color of truth and authenticity. But here, when she sees herself in a mirror, she's not seeing this lovely daytime forest. She's seeing this night sky and this red dress, red lips as well. You know, so you've got to ask if you're showing up authentically too. You know, remember, you do mirror one another. And what we're seeing here is, you know, what you're seeing in the mirror isn't necessarily how you're presenting. Red is the color of the root chakra, and that's connected to our really deep base wounds that, you know, we kind of are all stored there, through which everything else is filtered. And it feels like this is the mask you're wearing. You're not yet able to recognize where there's still wounding inside of you, and there is some kind of pride around that. Your person wishes very much that they could be the provider, protector in this situation, and they don't feel very confident that they are ready to embody that energy. Again, we've got them in this Page of Cups energy, feeling very mature, feeling very unprepared, feeling like they don't have the skills and tools to actually make this happen in a really safe and secure way. And so they feel absolutely convinced that it's probably all going to end in tears. And this is why, you know, they stay in this kind of Scorpion energy, really struggling to step in and be authentic. Creativity. You know, I'm hearing that when it comes to resolving conflict, you two really do have a beautiful way of communicating. And even though this divine feminine may sometimes, you know, struggle and be quite blunt, what we're seeing here is that she usually always returns to shine a light and on the situation, and, you know, to reach out to her person's heart space to share this love. We've got the winged heart here as well, and the words love, empathy, compassion and understanding, and then this creativity with all of this healing. And look at this one I said about union energies as well. You know, there is a door here that's available to them. However, it's not open and they're not focused on it right now. Even though there's a little rainbow here, which is a symbol of optimism, you know, they're not focused on ascending this staircase. They're still looking at what's going on. And we've got the butterfly here, we've got the book and the doves, and also the diamonds. You know, these are all symbols of ascension. The butterfly is about transformation, the dove peace, and the book is about higher learning. And so this really demonstrates that you're both moving forward in a very creative meditative way, focusing on what needs to be healed, you know, and even though you're ascending whilst you do that, you're not ready to step through that union door. You're still tapping into your intuition. You're still on this journey. See the little boat there, traveling towards where you need to be. But it does feel like you are on the right path and that you are making your way there, and that you can just relax and allow this to unfold as it's meant to. So again, going back to sodalite, and this is another egg showing up for you here. Rational thinking is heightened with the logic stone, known to clear mental confusion and enhance analytical and creative problem solving. For those on the sensitive side of the spectrum, sodalite helps ease anxiety around emotions and calms inclinations towards flighty feelings. This stone provides insight into truths that make sense, not just logically, but also intuitively. It calls you back to your animal instincts, guiding you to trust your bodily sensations and the messages your physical self is constantly sending to your brain. This is Sagittarius and Venus energy. So, you know, it feels like sodalite would be a powerful stone to help you both unlock the truth that remains hidden in each of you, so that you can start to discern between what's in your head and in your heart, and, you know, reach a conclusion that nurtures both of those energies and helps you both feel safe. And again, we've got stability, grounding and truth, Gemini and Mercury, a stabilizing stone. Agate is used to balance the mind, body and spirit, creating harmony in all areas of your life. Much like the patterns on the crystal itself, grounding and supportive, agate helps to reveal inner truths, cleansing beneath the surface to expose your authentic self. A wonderful stone to heal resentment. Agate frees you from the self-imprisonment of inner anger, replacing it with safety and security. Agate takes its time, vibrating at a slow and steady pace, and encourages you to take as much time as you need for the matter at hand. And that is so powerful, given what we were seeing with that Eight of Swords energy. And again, you know, paying attention to the growth that's required to bring things into harmony, not rushing forward, you know, towards union, but just trusting that there's still some energies that need to be resolved and that you two are working through that together beautifully. Garnet, sexuality, life force and intensity. Love this. This is sexual healing in its highest form. Garnet is a stone of love, passion and devotion, removing blocks to the desires of the heart. Step into your sexual power and embrace your body, removing all judgments that stand in the way of you and your pleasure. When used in tandem with tantric sex, garnet can heighten the experience, attracting partners that can help heal sexual trauma. Garnet helps identify and illuminate self-sabotaging behaviors, expanding your connection to mind, body and spirit. Leo, Virgo, Capricorn and Aquarius highlighted here, and the energy of Mars, which is also connected to conflict. So, you know, it does feel like, you know, you need these stones in your life. I'm just going to grab some so you can see what they look like. Let's have a look. Sodalite and garnet, wasn't it? Where's my garnet? My garnet's not here. My kids take my stones. I don't know where the garnet's gone. This is a piece of blue agate. You can see it's got this little druzy bit in here. Agate comes in all colours, and this is sodalite. I've got a bigger piece of sodalite actually. There we go. This is a rough piece of sodalite, so you can see what it looks like, polished and rough. Beautiful stone. Agate again comes in many, many colours. So the garnet, you can buy rough garnet. It's really annoying me. No. Oh, there it is. I just didn't see it. So this is a piece of garnet. No, it's not. That's ruby. It's not garnet. I don't know where my garnet is. Anyway, that's a ruby record keeper. But you can buy garnet fairly inexpensively. It's only the very highest polished ones. They're expensive. So I would definitely suggest you look for these stones and work with them. Maybe give your person some of these stones as well. The tumbles for these can be really inexpensive. You know, a couple of dollars or pounds at most. So have a look around and find some of these. You definitely need them. And it just feels very, very accurate to what we've described in this connection. But let's get some more cards out here. What else do you need to know about your person, pile one? We've got message in a bottle. Hold on, these are all back to front. Let me just turn them up. Right, that's better. And this is the Wisdom of the Oracle. All the decks I use, as always, are listed in the description box below if you're interested. We've got Imagine and Treasure Island. And from Beyond Lemuria deck, we've got Harmonic Flight, The Sound of the Universe, and the Portal Keeper. This person is desperate to communicate their truth to you, and they want to communicate from a place of love. We can see that the telephone, however, is trapped in a bottle and lost at sea. This person simply cannot find the words they need to articulate themselves, and there's a great deal of fear around doing that. I don't think that emotional expression has ever been their strong point. That's not to say they are not emotional, because I do think they very much are. As I said, we had all of that water energy here, and you know, it's further indicated here with that bottle kind of sinking, not being quite ready to come up for air. But this starfish also indicates their attachment to having this conversation. And so for me, it really feels like it's brewing. You know, they want to come forward. They want to speak to you. Right now, they just don't know how. And so you're being asked to assert some patience and to some compassion and to understand how challenging that is for them. With Harmonic Flight here, we see these two energies coming together in such a beautiful way. And you know, on one side it's purple, the energy of intuition. On the other, we've got all of this orange, this sacral energy, this very fiery, passionate energy that kind of keeps everything moving. You know, in truth, even though there's been deep friendship between you, and I feel like it's never actually progressed beyond that, you both know that there is something deeper, meaningful, and definitely romantic here. I don't think either of you have made a secret of that. And you're very comfortable in this kind of light-hearted flirting, but it's simply never moved to the next level, and it never feels like the right time for your person. And so again, you know, the message here for you is to relax, trust it's coming your way. Imagine. And the crescent moon is demonstrated here for you, which reminds you that we have to move through those cycles, but that you can create that way forward. You know, thought plus belief equals creation, and that's what divine feminine energy is all about. You're being asked to trust that when you choose what you want, when you make your wishes clear to the universe, that they can hear you and start delivering it. And you need to be fairly non-specific is what I'm hearing. You know, if you assume that what you asked for, you know, if it's too specific and the universe can't deliver it because it's not what's meant for you right now, you know, you're not leaving room or asking them to deliver what is meant for you. So there's a message here as well about making sure that you're observing your thoughts and making sure that they are aligned with what you actually want. If you're trapped in this kind of anxiety about the situation, you know, you are unwittingly self-sabotaging, and those fears become self-fulfilling. So they're asking you again, remember this is a blue card, to stay aligned with your truth. Imagine what you want, connect that to your intuitive abilities so that the universe can hear you and deliver what's meant for you. And when I say keep it non-specific, you know, rather than saying I want a relationship with this specific person or I want this specific set of circumstances, just, you know, I want whatever is right for me. Deliver whatever I need to move this connection forward for the highest good. Your person knows that you are home, you know, and even though it feels like, you know, they're running away from you, you are always in their heart. This is another number 9 card, which reminds us, you know, them pulling back is because of that energy of introspection. They still need time to work things out, but you are always with them. Separation is an illusion here. You know, we've got the portal keeper as well with this cat. And for me, this is all very affirmative and reassures us that, you know, your connection is always got an opening, you know, to come into fruition. It's not, the door is never going to really close. It's always available to you. You can always take that path when you're both ready. So there may have been a fear here that it's too late, it's not going to work, and this tendency to kind of ruminate about that and worry about what's next. But this is reassuring both of you, you especially, that the door is always open and it's protected, and that you're both ready to pass through it as and when each of you decides to. This is all about free will choice, you know, and your person is just still very, very conflicted because of where they are at in life. Let me get some clarifiers for that. What is this inner conflict with your person? We've got the Two of Wands in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, the Ten of Swords in reverse, and the High Priestess. So they're afraid to make a decision because they don't know what is the right and wrong decision. There is a message here about potential incompatibility with the family units. Now, the Ten of Pentacles, when it comes up in reverse, also can indicate a union energy. But here I feel like there's something to do with the family unit. Perhaps it's that you've got a family and they're not sure how they're going to blend in, or perhaps that your families come from very different cultures or religions or backgrounds that don't seem compatible. But they're definitely fearful of taking that step towards union and wondering what the future holds family-wise. The Ten of Swords in reverse does reveal as well that there's some healing that they've still got to do. You know, and the Ten of Swords can also be that stabbed in the back energy. But here we see someone alone. And I feel that ultimately they value your friendship so much that they're worried if they do move this towards romance and it doesn't work out, that they're going to lose you entirely. And so it's not just about the fear of being on their own. It's about the fear of being without you. The High Priestess. This is a powerful energy to come up in terms of what they're conflicted about. I think whilst this person is very open to your spiritual beliefs and your interpretation of what this connection means to both of you, you know, their own intuition is still skewed. They love all of the kookiness, but they're also very uncertain about what's real and what isn't, and about how to move through this. This is someone that definitely experiences all the signs and synchronicities that present in these types of connections. And that makes it easy for them to kind of align with the idea that it is something spiritual with a higher purpose. But because they're not fully in tune with their own abilities, they kind of question that. And again, you know, there's just this fear of losing, and also fear of being vulnerable and stepping into that spiritual self and acknowledging this part of themselves. Now, I'm going to get some guidance cards for you, pile one. I want to see what messages the universe has for you specifically in terms of how you can move forward with this connection for your highest good. Wow, we've got the Divine Feminine. Boundaries, so that's come up twice for you. Life purpose and chivalry. And from the wisdom of the oracle, we're going to get some charms as well. No place like home. Breathe. Time to go. Here and now. And we're going to get some more from the Animal Spirit deck. The Phoenix, and more Scorpio energy there. And the Dolphin. And the Frog. And finally, we're going to get some more Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, Reunited cards and charms. We've got Sacred Sexuality and Hathor, Goddess of Love. So that's powerful. You've got the God and Goddess of Love here, 1111. Look at that. Definitely a very spiritual connection that is moving towards fruition. You are already on the union path, part one. Let's get some charms for you as well. No matter how much I shuffle these recently, the same ones come out. Quite a few have dropped out. We're going to keep them all. Wow, there's loads here. Okay. We've got bitch spray. We've got the asthma pump. We have got the tape measure. That comes out all the time. I believe. The little kind of Filofax clock. The iPod with You're a Loser. Friends Don't Lie. Hard Times. Fake News. The Love Jar. The Sun. And Don't Give Up. Okay. Pile one, what is the guidance for you as far as this person's concerned? I feel like throughout this conflict that you had, which was most certainly connected to the energy of boundaries, this divine feminine, who I feel was very much surrendered and balanced in her divine feminine energies, has kind of shifted into a more masculine perspective. And I feel that's what's kind of made the conflict so different this time, because I feel like this divine feminine had never spoken so abruptly or so directly about her feelings. And there's a distinct lack of compassion that was kind of a lack of compassion for her person. There was an anger there, which, you know, made it easier for her to be kind of in this energy of frustration and resentment about the boundaries that she felt was being breached. Now, again, this was misguided, and I'm really intrigued that the parrot shows up here. And the parrot is often a symbol of gossip and, you know, listening to the influence of others without really filtering it through your own layers of discernment. And we have got the fake news charm here as well, although I think this is very much connected to your person. And so divine feminine, you're being asked to step in, back into your compassionate feminine energy, and to try and see this from your person's perspective. Again, you know, we've got the tiger here, that quite predatory masculine energy. And even though you know, she's connected to the wisdom of the owl, this owl appears behind her, and she's got her shield up. You know, this is a very defensive, kind of very inflammatory energy that the divine feminine was in. And so I do feel like you need to reconsider where your boundaries can be resolved without this conflict. Now, I understand, you know, you are mature enough to forgive this person, but, you know, the attitude here is, I'm not stupid enough to trust this person again yet, you know. And I think the message here, you know, is kind of expecting things to change, you know, without having this amicable communication is kind of like waiting for a ship at the airport. You know, the message here is that the way you've handled this isn't conducive to this moving forward. You've got to turn your pain into power. And I just want to make this okay for you, because I feel like you're very tired and very annoyed with this at the moment. But if you quit now, you're going to end up right back where you first began. And where you first started, you know, when you first started, I beg your pardon, you were desperate to be where you are now. So you've just got to keep going. You know, this relationship is constantly under construction. There is always something to improve. But, you know, not all positive change feels positive in the beginning. You know, everything starts with a clear decision, you know, to either do something or stop doing something. And again, it feels like through this miscommunication, this divine feminine chose to pull back, but you didn't really want, you know, to walk away. You just felt like you had no choice. You know, you felt you'd already spent too long holding on to this person that perhaps treated you like an option, and that perhaps was distracting you from finding someone that was going to treat you like a priority. You know, you're not the same person that you were, and you've changed, and, you know, you want something committed. But there is a message here as well about getting comfortable being alone. You know, if you're not comfortable being on your own, you never really know if the relationships you choose are actually born of real love or just loneliness. And that's why, you know, we're guided to heal. And so there is still some rejection fear here in you. Yeah, it's okay to be confused is what I'm hearing. And it's okay for your person to be confused. You know, it's where we all begin to learn stuff. You know, being broken is where we begin to heal. Being annoyed and angry is where we start to make more truthful steps forward. You know, being upset means we can be brave enough that we can listen to the truth in the communication that's being presented. You've got to allow both of you to be where you are right now. You know, think for yourself though, trust your intuition. You know, someone else isn't walking this journey for you. We've got this bitch spray up here. I feel that there's a lot of jealousy around you. You know, there's a lot of people who perhaps aren't as evolved or advanced on their journey, who aren't on the union path. and you know, they're feeling a bit jealous, they're comparing, and that bitter envy may come out in their advice and their guidance. It doesn't mean they're being deliberately harsh, but you know, you've got to start tapping into your own intuition and making decisions for yourself. I feel that's always been a struggle for you, you know, but the most impactful prison that we place ourselves in is being afraid of what other people think of us. You know, that really stops us from moving forward. And I feel like you've received a lot of guidance from people that don't know your situation, are perhaps a little bit jealous of it. They can't read into it in the way you can because they're not experiencing it. And their guidance has been a bit bitter. They've kind of fueled the fire and provoked the anger in you a bit more, you know. But you don't be one of those people that's always looking for the right person. You know, your job here is to be the right person and to trust that everything else flows to you. There's another message here about, you know, you guys being home to one another, and that's what you're both moving towards. You know, you can either stay resentful with this person, or you can fix it. It's that simple. You either take what's on offer and work through these energies and grow together and allow yourselves to become better people, or you can allow it to kind of break you down. You know, the choice doesn't belong to destiny. It belongs to you. And, you know, your life purpose is very much tangled up with this whole process. You know, you've achieved so much growth, heart expansion and peace. You may be already on the mission path, you know, already helping others, growing into your light work. You know, you've just got to find peace with this. Let go of the resentment, focus on what's here in the present. I really think your person's trying their best. And whilst it's easy to judge them and assume that their best isn't enough, I genuinely feel that they're trying, they're bringing everything to the table that they can. But this anxiety and fear you're feeling is what needs to be addressed. You know, you're being asked to step back into faith, to trust and believe, to allow things to move forward patiently. You know, patience isn't waiting and being frustrated. Patience is just letting things happen when they're meant to happen and not worrying about it. We've also got this one, which is again about patience, trust in divine timing. How are you being a bit harsh with your person? You know, it says here, you're a loser. And I feel like you have kind of expressed yourself way more harshly than you would do. And again, you know, this person isn't having a good time right now. They really are trying their best. Friends don't lie in fake news. Now, I feel like, again, this was the bone of contention. This is where the conflict started, because you feel that your person hasn't expressed themselves, didn't give you a heads up, you know, when this was all kind of kicking off, didn't say, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like we need to take it slower. They just pulled back and kind of left you in the dark. And we see that here with a, you know, there being a lid on this love jar, not being able to bring it forward or express it. But again, we've got the phoenix, the dolphin and the frog. These are very positive energies. You know, the rising of the phoenix is the resurrection. And again, trust that everything is going to be illuminated. The sun is also a symbol of joy that comes again here with that dolphin, you know, that connection to pure happiness. And, you know, dolphins communicate through sound frequency. You know, they don't communicate with words, and we do. They communicate with their hearts. And the frog is a symbol of creation as well. And remember, frogs can only move forward. They can't move backwards. And even though it's raining right now, you know, and there's a storm, you have to trust that it will pass. And again, that you have the power to manifest the outcome that you so desperately want. Sacred sexuality. I feel like this is something you may have put the brakes on because you'd felt maybe taken advantage of. But if you are in a twin flame connection, sexual union is very powerful. It does drive the connection forward. And so if it feels right to you, and obviously I don't know your specific circumstances, this is a decision you have to discern for yourself, but it feels right to you, you know, spirit is encouraging you to indulge that, to enjoy that. And again, the God and Goddess of love. This is beautiful. You know, you are both on the same page. You're just struggling to meet in the middle. But don't give up, part one. You know, there is hope. Remember that rainbow? You know, when the clouds part, you will find your way to where you're meant to be in this connection. Trust. Right, I'm going to take this over to the extended now. So if this resonated, you can find the link for that in the description box below. But otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been a real pleasure to share this reading for you as always. Please do let me know down in the comments if this resonated. I love to hear your feedback. It's also really helpful for you to make a note in the comments of which part you've watched, because YouTube has this habit of recommending videos later on down the line. These are all timeless readings, so you may find your way back to this video when you need it most, and there could be another pile calling for you then, and you'll know which one you've watched already if you've made a note. But thank you for hitting the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I noticed on my stats the other day that only 40% of my viewers actually subscribe. So if you hit the subscribe button, it means you will get a notification every time we post, and we can be friends. And I'd really love that. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your kindness and generosity when it comes to watching my commercials. You guys are so kind, and that really is such a perfect energy exchange. I really appreciate you giving me your time in that way. And thank you so much for all of the generous donations you guys make. You're absolute heroes. I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye. Hello, part 2. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the deck of Celestials and this lovely piece of Moonstone. And we are asking today, what do you need to know about your person? What aren't you seeing? What aren't you acknowledging? What is hidden from you? I'm going to bring forward all the messages you need the most. We're going really in depth. We're bringing forward all of the details. So hold your person in mind. Take a nice long deep breath or two. Take them with you. And ask for a sign as well, if that helps. A sign just helps validate the messages come forward. If you're not particularly connected to your own intuition or higher senses, it gives the universe a way to communicate with you in a way that you can receive. And lots of people report when they ask the signs in these readings that those signs present throughout the day or the week, you know. And you can ask for anything. It could be an object, a symbol, an animal, a phrase, numbers, whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong. Don't worry if it doesn't come through. It may come through to you later. You may see something in and around your environment that gives you that sign anyway. So ask for it and don't panic if it doesn't show up. Okay, we're going to use oracle cards. We're going to use charms. There will be an extended reading today as well if this one resonates for you. The link for that is always in the description box below. And just in case you skipped the intro, I'm giving away this beautiful serpentine stone. If you would like to be in with a chance of winning it, you can find all of the information on the last video I posted. It's called This Is the Sign You've Been Asked For. It's the one before this one. All of the instructions are on that video. I bought some crystals from a particular seller recently called Carpe Crystals, and I've just been so happy with what they've sent and, you know, how that's worked out, that I wanted to give them a shout out and also, you know, just express my gratitude to you guys by giving you a chance to win something so beautiful. So make sure you check out that video if you would like to be in with a chance of winning. Okay, let's do this pile 2. That one's fell out, so we're going to keep it. What do you need to know about your person? What aren't you seeing? What's hidden from you right now? What do you need to know to help you move forward in this connection for your highest good? Before I even start, I'm already sensing a very young energy here. Okay. The writing on this is so small. That's the Hierophant in reverse. The Lovers. The Fool. Wow, so Major Arcana. Page of Cups in reverse. Let's get some more. I'm going to get some oracle cards as well. The Six of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles in reverse. The Empress. And the Five of Wands. All right, let's get some oracle cards as well. I'm using this very cool deck today that someone sent me. I still don't know who. I did mention it in the intro. Thank you if you sent me the crystal grid deck. I love it. So we're going to get a ton of oracle cards out on the desk. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, okay. I'm going to put these back because there's too many there. They're not the easiest cards to shuffle because of their funny shape, but I do like them, especially because they're hexagons. Hexagons are such a big sign and symbol for me right now. And it's really weird, actually. When I realised this about, you know, hexagons showing up for me, I realised that they've always been present in my life. Even the logo on my school uniform when I was a kid was a hexagon. Isn't that weird? Love those crazy syncs. Okay. Sodalite. That is so weird. That came out in exactly the same position in pile 1 agate, as did that. Wow. Obviously a collective need for these stones. Lepidocrocite. I don't know if that's the same as lepidolite. It doesn't look like lepidolite. Lepidocrocite. I don't have a piece of that, but we'll read those as we go. It's really useful to get the guidance from the crystals, as well as giving you a heads up as to what crystals might be useful for healing in your situation. And, you know, working with crystals doesn't need to be complicated. Just having them about your person as either as jewellery. I pop stones in my bra. Or sleeping with them can be really beneficial as well. Just having them in your home. Physical ailment. Energy. Selfhood. Goddess of love, Hathor. Let's get some animal spirit cards as well. Whale. Lamb. And elk. And from the True Love reading cards, we will get more cards out as we go. Emotional freedom. And sexual freedom. Interesting. And from the Beyond Lemuria deck, we've got root chakra and earth. Okay. Pile 2, what's going on here? What do you need to know about your person that you're not seeing or hidden? As I said, the first energy that came through was very youthful. It was a really vibrant, luminous, very buzzy, youthful energy. I feel like both you and your person are quite young. But you're old souls. Old souls. And this is such a difficult situation because of that youthful nature in both of you. And don't worry if you're not young. It doesn't mean this message isn't for you. That won't apply to everybody. But I do get, you know, even if you're not young by age, there's this very youthful, buzzy energy here. Old souls on young shoulders is what I'm hearing. That applies to both of you. The top row is very major arcana dominated. In the tarot, the major arcana are referred to as the big secrets. So when lots of them come up in your reading, and we have 4 in total out of the 8, these are really important messages for you. What I'm hearing about your person is they are not yet ready to learn the lessons that you are ready to learn. And even though they acknowledge the intensity of this connection, they are very, very defensive. They don't yet have a great deal of self-awareness. They're not very able to decipher the real undercurrent of emotion that's prevalent here. There's a lot of love for you, and I feel like that's something they've not expressed, and you're probably surprised to hear that, because I don't think they've been particularly invested in this connection. This is definitely someone that blows very hot and cold, never lets on how they really feel, and keeps things very, very casual. And so it kind of leaves you constantly guessing. But they are really very drawn to you. They don't understand why, but there is an awareness that there's something very deep here, and that absolutely terrifies this person. They've never encountered energy like this, and they're not really sure what to do with it. And so they just kind of dance around it. They tiptoe around it. And I feel like there is kind of an ongoing playful communication, a little bit of flirtation, but no deep conversations about what's really going on here. But it's a lovely energy of innocence and naivety, and the Fool shows up again with that very youthful energy, and it feels like both of you are going into this with a great deal of innocence. You know, neither one is really projecting too far forward into the future. It's kind of the energy of intrigue. And whilst I feel it's a bit heavier for you, your person is very much taking it in their stride. You know, even though the intensity kind of scares them witless, and They feel it sometimes. This is actually a very confident, charismatic person that generally holds their own. They're probably quite popular. And I'm hearing that they are quite emotionally connected, you know, despite their youthfulness, despite their inability to kind of go deep and for introspection like we spoke about. They do instinctively get it. They kind of just get it. They know that there's something deep here. They do see you as this very wise and powerful person, and that really intrigues them, because I'm hearing you're not like other people in their zone of awareness. You're very different. You're very independent. You're very unique in your outlook. You know, you've got bags of life experience despite your very young years. As I said, old soul on young shoulders. But this person does pull back. You know, they're a little bit too addicted to being in control. We've got the Page of Cups in reverse here, clarified by the Five of Wands. They enjoy the game. They love that runner chaser energy. You know, to them that's fun. They love when there's a spark and there's that kind of lively banter, and they really are impressed with how well you cope with that. You give them a run for their money. You're not desperate and grasping and needy like other people they've been involved with, and so it keeps them intrigued. Both of you, I'm hearing, are kept guessing. But this person really does see you as someone hugely influential in their life. Even though nothing big has occurred yet, you know, they definitely feel that this is a connection that has some longevity in it. And again, they're a little bit intimidated by that, but they're also open and receptive to it. But again, it's moving forward in gentle baby steps. I do think that they are a little bit intimidated by your wisdom, and even though that intimidates them, it also excites them, because they just feel like you get them, and they haven't met anyone that gets them in the way that you do. And again, you know, I just feel that this makes them feel both excited and vulnerable. There's a real conflict of energies here, one that's scared of the intensity and one that's really turned on by it. And this is why you get that hot and cold energy, because they swing between one extreme for the other. With a physical ailment here, I do feel that this person has some health concerns that they may not have discussed with you, and that's something that makes them feel really vulnerable. It's very triggering for them. I don't know if this is something that they've suffered with from childhood that they haven't yet discussed with you. I don't know why, but Crohn's disease is coming up. It's a problem which they feel embarrassed to address. And I think because they recognize your soulful maturity, they are aware that, you know, you could probably receive this information. Now, that's a very specific thing for me to bring up. It's not going to apply to everyone. So, you know, if it doesn't resonate, don't worry about it. But I do feel there's something they're not telling you about their health, because they're concerned that this is going to make you perceive them as weaker or less attractive. There's a powerful telepathic connection here that they are very aware of, and they love this. They don't know if it's real or not, but they find themselves having these conversations with you in their head, and they really love that. I'm just hearing that when they get in bed at night, you know, they love to have these funny little chats with you, and it just makes them feel very close to you. And even though they feel a bit awkward and shy and a bit embarrassed about acknowledging that, I don't think they would ever say it out loud. They are very daydreamy, you know, when it comes to you. It's like their dirty little secret. And there's a tremendous amount of sexual energy here as well. You know, this person definitely feels very, very attracted to you at a physical level as much as a soulful level. I do feel like they have come out of a fairly committed relationship given their age, and that they are in this energy of wanting to be independent and free at the moment. And so this kind of clashes with their intrigue. You know, part of them wants to explore this, and the other part of them just wants to be free and single and maintain this kind of casual energy, which is why, again, they are so hot and cold. In truth, they feel very vulnerable. You know, I'm hearing like a lamb to the slaughter. They feel like they've met their match with you, And again, there's those contrasting energies of intimidation and intrigue. You know, they kind of like that you give them butterflies in their tummy and that they feel all kind of light and excited when they see you. But that also challenges their machismo, it challenges their ego, and makes them feel a little bit out of control. And again, that's both attractive and intimidating to them. The whale, as much as this is about that telepathic communication and that frequency of energy that you share, the whale is also indicative of a very deep love. The whale has the biggest heart in the animal kingdom. They are mammals, and being such huge creatures, they have a big, beautiful heart, very loving energies here. I'm hearing it's all encompassing, and yet they kind of keep a lid on it. You know, they are very controlled. I definitely get a lot of air energy here, even though it's not heavily represented in the cards. Aquarius comes up quite strong, but also leanings of Gemini and Libra, and definitely some fire in there as well, which would be Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. But, you know, they're really enjoying these interactions with you. And I feel like that the message that needed to come forward the most was to reassure you that they do see the deeper layers of this connection, even though they don't reveal that to you. It feels like there is going to be some interactions between you soon. I'm hearing that there may be plans in the future for you two to get together. This may have been arranged in a platonic way. It doesn't feel loaded with intensity or kind of expectation. It just feels like a natural getting together, catching up, you know, enjoying one another's company. And both of you have quite excited, sexy expectations about this. But again, it feels light-hearted. It doesn't feel heavy or too weighted. You two definitely exchange energy, you know, a 5-dimensional level. There is a powerful connection, as we said, here on the astral plane. And it's like your souls communicate and are here for a common goal. The selfhood card is really interesting because I feel this is what's appealing to them about you as much as an energy that they enjoy embodying. And I think this is where you two really connect, because you're both very confident, you know, in who you are. Even though, you know, like most normal people, you've got some insecurities. It does feel like there's a very solid foundation of self-esteem here, and, you know, an awareness of the need to take care of yourself first. Again, it's that old soul on young shoulders energy, you know, and again, this is what appeals to them about you, is that, you know, you're not obsessed with the idea of being in a relationship. You have this kind of very natural self-confidence and charisma. You mirror each other a lot in terms of your personality traits. I feel like you're a bit more hermity than them. Whilst I'm picking up lots of air and fire for them, for you, I'm bringing in this kind of earth energy here, which is Capricorn, Virgo, or oh God, I'm so shit at this. Why do I always forget them? Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. So definitely this earthy energy, and they love that down-to-earth nature about you. You know, again, they don't see you out there doing things like other people that they spend time with. You know, you're not obsessed with social media and receiving validation. You're not always posing in selfies and kind of grasping for attention. You just seem so confident and self-assured, and very focused on your own future, your own dreams, your own visions. They're very inspired by you in that way. And with the goddess of love coming through, Hathor, this is beautiful. You know, again, you've got the lovers, you've got the whale, you've got lots of indicators here that point towards someone that feels very deeply, even though that depth may be unacknowledged as far as they're concerned, and certainly uncommunicated. They are definitely seeing you as someone very, very, very special. It feels like this is the early stages of the connection, that you two may have known each other on and off. The relationship has never actually truly progressed, but there's always been that frisson between you. There's a great deal of chemistry and spark. And so you've kind of always been interacting in some way or in another. There just needs to be an opportunity now, is what I'm hearing. And as I said, it feels like there's an opening for that. There's two messages here about earth, and if you are an earth sign, you know, connecting with nature and grounding yourself is very important. It does say here ground and center, and the symbol here is the moth. Now remember, the moth always seeks the light. It comes out of the dark, it's powerfully drawn to the light, and this is very divine feminine kind of Mother Gaia energy here. And even though we see, you know, this kind of storm and these clouds happening in the background, look how beautifully protected she is. She's surrounded by all of these blooms. You know, the world is her oyster, and she's deeply grounded in Mother Earth's belly here. Her heart is alive and centered. Nurture nature, ground and center. So you're really being called to meditate throughout this process and to hold on to that very grounded, centered energy that you're so good at embodying. Absolute naturals here. There is a battle of wills sometimes. Again, this is that game energy, that desire to win. And I think that's what actually keeps it interesting and alive. But there is a caution here that if you want to progress with this person, someone's going to have to let their guard down. And again, you know, they're showing up in this Page of Cups in reverse energy and very much focused on the game, not showing their hand of cards, you know, not coming forward and actually saying, you know, let's do this. It feels like this is something that will happen naturally in the moment. You know, when the magic is flowing and both of you feel relaxed, you know, you can move into that kind of more romantic energy. This person is very concerned about freedom. As I said, you know, it definitely feels like there was some kind of committed relationship in their past that's guided them towards independence. They're very focused on their own life right now. And I want to bring these two cards up just in case there's any symbols in here you've asked for. We've got the butterflies and the doves. We've got the owl, unicorn and the rabbit. And, you know, what's really interesting about this emotional freedom card is this very cold, snowy, icy scene. You know, even though they feel the magic, you know, they're not ready to warm up to it, but they are open, you know, to exploring the sexual spark that exists between you. They are open to expressing themselves in that way. But it feels like maybe that has been the energy of this connection, perhaps a friend with benefits kind of energy. And this is why you're both kind of very tentatively moving forward of this kind of baby steps, both of you feeling quite vulnerable. And for you, I feel like this is perhaps a bone of contention because your heart, you know, is recognizing the depth and is prepared to acknowledge it. But the guidance here is just to allow this to unfold as it's meant to. You know, your person, whilst they're very independent, much as you are, is intrigued, they're inspired, they're engaged. And you just have to kind of let this move forward in the way it's meant to. Now, I'm going to read these three crystal cards because again, when it comes to crystal healing, you know, you can just keep these around you. They're all very accessible crystals. Sodalite, let me show you a piece of it. I should have kept these here. I didn't realize they'd come up again. This is a piece of sodalite, so you can see it's quite a sort of blue and white stone. This is the raw side of it, and then you can see the polished part. This is agate. This is a dyed agate. They come in a variety of colors. It's a nice little druzy quartz bit there. So you've got agate. I don't have any lepidocrocite, but I want to show you what lepidolite looks like. I've got three pieces here to show you. So naturally it's like this, which is quite bubbly and strange. It's a very high vibrational crystal. Absolute, oh my God, it tinkles so much. That's what it's like. You also see it in kind of slices like this, and you can see the little layers of it. It's so interesting. And then this is another natural raw piece. I always think this looks like a tree stump. So this is lepidolite. Lepidocrocite looks a bit different, and I'm honestly not familiar with that stone, but it feels like they're from the same crystal family. But lepidolite is also a powerful crystal. Let's read the sodalite one for you. Logic, instincts and rationality. Rational thinking is heightened with the logic stone, known to clear mental confusion and enhance analytical and creative problem solving. For those on the sensitive side of the spectrum, sodalite helps ease anxiety around emotion and calms inclinations towards flighty feelings. So this is going to help just settle down that kind of hot, cold, back and forward energy. The stone provides insight into truths that make sense, not just logically, but also intuitively. It calls you back to your animal instincts, guiding you to trust your bodily sensations and the messages your physical self is constantly sending to your brain. Sagittarius, Venus energy. Again, I'm so intrigued that both of these cards showed up in exactly the same spot in pile 1. So there's definitely a collective need for these stones right now. Agate, stability, grounding and truth. A stabilizing stone, agate is used to balance the mind, body and spirit, creating harmony in all areas of your life. Much like the patterns on the crystal itself, grounding and supportive, agate helps to reveal inner truths, cleansing beneath the surface to expose your authentic self. A wonderful stone to heal resentment. Agate frees you from the self-imprisonment of inner anger, replacing it with security and safety. Agate takes its time, vibrating at a slow and steady pace, and encourages you to take as much time as you need for the matter in hand, and that's Gemini with Mercury energy. Now remember, Mercury is the planet of communication. And I just remembered I have another piece of agate. I can't find it. No, I don't know where it is. Mercury is the planet of communication, and Gemini is that twin energy, but it's also representative of that two-faced, hot and cold, not quite being real. So, you know, this is what's going to help provide stability, grounding and truth are the keywords here. And obviously grounding's come up firmly for you. Lepidocracy, open heart, grounded and teacher. Practical and methodical, Lepidocracy approaches spirituality in a tangible way, grounding practices back to the earth while staying connected to source energy. A great crystal for teachers or anyone who wishes to pass down spiritual teachings. Lepidocracy values tradition and educates without judgment, sharing wisdom for humanity's highest good. Lepidocracy helps committing to your life's purpose, staying focused on the tasks at hand and taking action in order to make progress. Each day you are one step closer to your dreams. And this is Sagittarius and earth energy as well. So lots of fire, lots of drive, and again, that connection to Mother Earth. So, you know, this is going to help you be open-hearted. And I love the reference here to teaching, because again, with this number 8 and the selfhood, I feel like you both have the capacity to learn so much from each other. And again, through this energetic exchange, I just feel like you activate so much awareness in one another. And again, you know, you are both here to learn and grow through one another's, through one another's shared energy. There's something here about activating one another's growth. It's really powerful. So let's get some more cards here. What else do you need to know about this person that you're not seeing? Pile 2. We've got the World in reverse, the Magician, and Death in reverse. So this person knows that this relationship isn't over and that there's a lot more yet to come. The on and off nature of it might have sometimes felt quite final, but you know, they are feeling very empowered to move forward with this at the moment. However, with Death in reverse, they're not ready to step into any major changes. So again, the guidance is here to take this slow, to allow this connection to unfold as it's meant to, and to try and resist the temptation to rush in too quickly. Life purpose, this also came up for pile 1. Commitment. And the Divine Feminine, this also came up for pile 1. So again, this is what I said, there's some kind of profound learning here that's available to both of you. It's heart expanding, it's mind expanding, it's allowing your consciousness to expand and understand more about the world around you and your purpose here. And not necessarily feeling that you have a shared mission that you must deliver together, but there is a shared purpose to grow into your best selves, and that you are on the path towards commitment, towards union energies. But I'm hearing that each of you needs to learn a lot, and that because you both have this energy of independence, I think you're both in the energy of wanting to take it slowly. It does feel like there may be some kind of geographic distance between you as well. Perhaps you're both studying in different locations, or, you know, you've got commitments elsewhere at the moment. But for me, this is such a beautiful energy. You know, we've got the full moon here, a symbol of abundance and manifesting exactly what you want. And what I'm hearing is that if you stay the course, This connection is going to grow into something really loving and beautiful. The swans are a symbol of eternal love, you know, and they come together creating this heart shape here. It's such a beautiful energy. The divine feminine. This is really powerful. You know, this demonstrates how much you listen to your own intuition, and they see that. And they also recognize that even though you're not ignorant to the voices of those around you, you very much stand in your own power and kind of, you know, dance to the beat of your own drum. They're so inspired by your magical nature. This person feels like you've actually got glitter running through your veins. Your personality is so sparkly, so interesting and so different to what they're accustomed to, that they genuinely feel this incredible warmth, this recognition that you are so very special. You know, that this is a divine connection, that you are a divine person. Really beautiful energies coming through for you here. What else are you not seeing? Communion. Wow, lots of union energies here for you. This also came out for pile 1. God of awakening and sacred sexuality also in pile 1. And let's get some of these wisdom of the oracle cards. We've got mending, by the book, and time to go. Okay. So this person genuinely sees this commitment. You know, right now they're not obsessed with the idea of being attached. As I said, they've got this energy of wanting to be free. Freedom is very strongly indicated for them. You know, they don't want to be in a needy connection before. And I feel that's what their previous relationship was like. It made them feel trapped and like they had no autonomy over their life because they would constantly have to manage, having to manage a very sensitive or needy, clingy person. And so this is what's led to this very kind of stay back, you know, I need my freedom, I need my space energy. But again, that's something you feel very comfortable and confident around, which is why it's so attractive to them. But my goodness, you know, they really want this. And perhaps some kind of trip is indicated for you too. We do see this kind of little camping scene here. And look, you know, that stag or elk appears again in the background. That I'm hearing this is a powerful sense of familiarity that you share. Mending. What's really interesting about this is such unusual energy. I feel like you two, even though you may have had some fairly, you know, deep conversations, they've kind of erred on the side of philosophical and curious rather than being very focused on your trauma or getting too personal. But it's like you both have this instinct that there's something about these interactions that helps you understand yourselves better and helps you kind of activate those wounds and mend yourself. It's almost like a natural result of your interactions. They do feel very mended and soothed by your presence, and I think you both feel this. Again, we've got this number 8 energy with Romoko, God of awakening. Remember we had the 8 with selfhood, and again, you're just activating each other to take on more and more awareness. This is consciousness expanding in such a powerful way. And I'm hearing that for both of you, and this is another number 11 card, it says here by the book, you know, that both of you are experiencing, you know, these shifts and changes in yourself, and you are both natural born learners. You're good at studying, you're good at figuring things out, and you both have a natural intrigue when it comes to facing self. Even though your person doesn't have the same ability for introspection as you do, you know, they're definitely feeling that pull towards self-reflection as a result of the inspiring conversations you guys have shared. And I just want to give you some credit here, Divine Feminine, because as I said, these are very youthful energies and old souls on young shoulders, but you really, really are super ahead of the game. You know, whether it's the case that you've been fortunate to have had a fairly stable upbringing and so you're not bringing as much trauma or brokenness to this, it just feels like both of you are so very comfortably moving naturally into the energies as they're intended. Sacred sexuality and time to go. This person definitely is ready to take you to bed. They've been waiting to do this for a really long time. And as I said, there's this energy of fantasy and daydreaming here that they've really kind of placed a lot of emphasis on that physical interaction and are very looking forward very much looking forward to taking the relationship to that next level. That's how they want to engage with you the most, is how they feel safe. You know, they want to be able to express their kind of interest and affection that way. And I feel like you're both kind of inspired by that energy. The spark here is very, very, very strong. Really powerful energies. Okay, let's get some guidance cards for you. I'm going to pull some charms as well. What's the guidance for you, part 2, as far as this person's concerned? New blueprints. Mount Shasta. Healing. And let's get some more animal cards for you as well. And get some more tarot cards. We've got turtle and otter. And I feel like we need some more tarot cards too. We've got the Empress, so we've had the Empress out already. This is very powerful, very twin flamey energies, soulmate energies here. The Ten of Swords, Strength, another number 8, the Nine of Cups, and the High Priestess. Wow, so many major arcana. This connection is a big deal for you, part 2. It's a huge deal. This is huge. This is a life-changing relationship. Okay, we need some more. Let me... Okay, maybe that's too many. Put that one back. Okay. Maybe that's too many, but it's okay. We'll roll with what we've got. So many of the same ones come out recently. Okay, so we've got the iPod with a song playing that says, "You're a loser, lol." The White Rabbit. The Hermit Crab. Empower. No Idea. Another Clock. Black Like My Heart. The record or vinyl player, whatever you call it. Sad Songs. The Game Boy. Even more musical references with the gramophone. Don't overthink it. Why? Don't be a dick. I love that one. It really tickles me. Lit, the light bulb. The bicycle. And finally this little tiny Diamante crucifix. Okay. Just turn those up so I can see them. So the guidance for you, I'm going to take the back off that so it sits straight, that's better. The guidance for you, part 2. This is a very divine connection. You know, when new blueprints comes up, again, this is number 11 card, 38 reducing to 11, 3 being divine Empress energy, 8, the energy of infinity that's come up so much for you. You know, when we talk about life purpose, both of you are remembering and reintegrating your own divine blueprints. You know, bringing this new energy into the 3D, anchoring this new energy here. I don't know the story behind Mount Shasta, but it just feels like this is very similar to how I see the energy grid. You know, this kind of matrix of energy, these light codes. And so again, you're both here to activate one another because you're grounding some kind of powerful new energy, new way of being in the Earth's grid for the whole collective. You know, you are literally light bringers, truth bringers. And this kind of divine blueprint energy is very, very exciting. But both of you need to heal through this experience. And this is what you're triggering one another to do. Again, there's this energy of just kind of mending each other, of just naturally bringing out the best in each other, helping each other understand yourselves better. We've got that divine masculine symbol there as well. Now, this can also be an indicator of control, and that there's a little warning there about, you know, letting go of the game. The Game Boy does come up for you here. and it came up with that Five of Wands, that energy of strategy and kind of playing games together. So you're guided to be really cautious about that. You know, we've got this, you're a loser and don't be a dick. And both of these are symbolic of that old paradigm of the rules that we often follow in relationships that help us stay in control, that make us look more attractive, you know, playing hard to get, keep them mean, treat them keen kind of vibes. And you're really cautioned against using those kind of tactics in this connection. What's being called for is gentle authenticity. And when I say gentle, it's about trusting in the timing and allowing it to unfold as it's actually meant to, you know, to find your own power and strengthen this, to hold on to your independent nature and not to compromise yourself. And I feel like both of you are going to be triggered to really reflect on that lesson in particular. Now, I'm hearing your person is very gregarious, very sociable, and that you're more prone to kind of going inwards, withdrawing from kind of the social interactions and lively party scene. You know, you're much more comfortable spending time on your own. This is obviously Cancerian energy as well. But there is a message here, you know, that home is where the heart is, and that you're, I guess, encouraged to explore and open up more, because this is one of the contrasts between you and this person that makes them a little bit nervous. As I said, they're very gregarious, they're very sociable, you know, they love being free and spontaneous, you know, they don't like making plans too much, they like to just go where the wind blows, whereas you're kind of, you like to be cosseted in your own environment, your own energy. But home is where the heart is the message for you here, and to try and be a bit more responsive and open to the social interactions and engagements that are presented, you know, to go with what feels good, but also, you know, to recognize that it's important for you to challenge yourself in that way. The White Rabbit. Now, he's always so busy rushing to where he thinks he's meant to be going and what he's late for, that he misses out on so much. And so, again, this is about taking it slowly, trusting in divine timing. This connection will unfold very naturally if you allow it to. I'm hearing the minute you put pressure on it and saying, you know, we should be here now, we should already be further ahead, that's when you start to create an imbalance in the dynamic. Again, you know, there's another message here about timing, and it moves from 1 to 3 here. These pages that are open and being read move from 1 to 3, the energy of the divine feminine again. So, you know, this is all about learning about yourself. You don't need to understand what it is you're meant to be learning. You know, you just need to trust that the right lessons are going to present. The Ten of Swords obviously connects that healing as well. Pardon me. Now, there was an indicator here that there wasn't too much, pardon me, hiccups. There wasn't too much past trauma for you guys to really focus on or dive into. But no one grows up without any trauma at all. And there is some pain, and I'm hearing grief. I feel like one of you may have lost a significant family member. There's grief that hasn't been healed here that needs to be acknowledged. And definitely when the Ten of Swords come up, for me, this is also betrayal trauma. I feel that one of you may have grown up without both parents, or yeah, it's that feeling of being abandoned, even if it wasn't an intentional abandonment, this feeling of being left alone that has left behind some kind of triggers and wounding that needs to be resolved. Black like my heart. It's buried very deep is what I'm hearing. You know, so deep that neither of you probably will recognize it in the early stages, but it's there. And so there's a caution to hold that in mind when this person is in that hot and cold energy. It's not just about this last relationship, this desire to be free. There is a kind of deep-rooted fear here that they've not acknowledged about themselves that kind of feeds into their behaviors. We had 3 charms come up related to music, so this is a very important connection for you two. I feel like you playfully share a lot of music, or perhaps you follow each other on a music platform, you know, like each other's stuff, into the same kind of stuff. Sad songs is something you connect on, and there's messages and truth here in the sad songs that are being shared that you need to pay attention to, but also these spiritual messages that are being, you know, pumped out with this gramophone, pink being the color of spirit. And again, a lot of love demonstrated here in a way that feels safe for each of you, with this green vinyl here represented. try not to overthink this. Just allow it to flow. Everything is going to be all right. It is moving in the right direction. There is so much light here, and it's going to continue shining and glowing. The crucifix is a really interesting one to come up, and I got such conflicting energies when I first saw this. I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. I don't feel like either of you is particularly religious, but there's definitely something here connected to Christ consciousness and how each of you relate to spirit. But as I said, it came up as a very kind of conflicted energy. And I feel like your person is a curious skeptic. They want to believe in spirit, but they may have had some negative experiences connected to religion or spirituality, which makes them a little bit cautious. The bicycle and why. I'm feeling very strongly that these are connected. The bicycle for me is, of course, about cycles. It's about moving forward and recognizing the patterns that we're being asked to address. But we've also got this Y symbol. You know, I don't know why it has to be like this. I don't know why, you know, things are the way they are kind of energy. And again, it's trusting you. Sorry, it's asking you to trust in the forward momentum of this journey and to just move forward with it gently. The turtle, very similar to the energy of the hermit crab. You know, home is where the heart is. You carry home with you. It's inside of you. And remember, we've got this strength energy here again, that infinity number 8 showing up, the energy of patterns and cycles that is coming through for you, but also the courage to move forward. We've got the 9 of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment, and the High Priestess is intuition. So this is why. You know, this is what you're being guided to learn, to really anchor truth in these energies which you already hold and are empowered by. You're a very strong couple. You're very spiritually grown and aware, even though intellectually you may not recognize that. It's just in you. It's a soul wisdom that's been brought down through the ages that each of you has access to. I feel very positive about the energies of this connection. But again, you know, the guidance here is take it slow. Don't try and rush this. Just allow it to move at its own very natural pace. And okay, there's a message here about raising your vibration as well. You know, the most important thing here for you is to maintain this emotional stability. And that's through the act of meditating, grounding and being centered. You know, you raise your vibration when you relax your body and when you sit in mindfulness. And it's really essential to relax your body and just to, you know, become aware of your breath. And the best way to kind of slow down your breath and relax is to focus on your own heart and that balance there, you know, and just communicate with yourself lovingly. You know, I am love, I'm lovable. You know, your breath moves at a slower pace when you just give thought to it. You know, you're mindful and you're with it. And it reminds your body that it's safe and therefore that it can relax. So this is what causes your vibration to become elevated into higher frequencies of light. Yeah, this is what transformation and heart growth is about. So a powerful message to leave you with before I take this to the extended. If this resonated for you, you can join me over there. The link's in the description box below. But thank you so much for joining me here. It's always a pleasure to read for you guys. You really are amazing. Thank you so much for all the likes. Thank you for subscribing today. I hope you did. I hope you'd like to come and see me again if this is your first time at my channel. When I looked at my stats this week, I saw that only about 40% of my viewers actually subscribe. So please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It means we can be friends, and I will see you next time. You'll get a notification when I post, and you get to check out my community posts, and you'll get, you know, you'll be one of the first to know about all of my new classes and whatnot, and if I open for private readings again. So I will see you next time. Thank you again for being here. Take care. Lots of love. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen this wonderful piece of Celestite and the Moon Power Tarot. So we are asking today, what do you need to know about your person? What are you not seeing? What's not being acknowledged? Or what is hidden? What do you need to know the most about this person to help you move forward for your own highest good and the highest good of whatever this situation is? So hold your person in mind, take a nice long deep breath, ask for a sign if that feels good to you. A sign just allows the universe to communicate with you that you're a bit heard, that they're listening. You know that they've got your back. It may not just appear in a reading. You may notice it in and around your other experiences. And it can be anything. It can be an object, an animal, a person, a phrase, numbers, symbols, whatever works for you. And whilst I'm shuffling, just to remind you as well, in case you missed the last video, I am giving away this beautiful piece of serpentine. If you would like to know how to win that, check out my last video. That's where I'm hosting the giveaway. You can find all the information in the description box of that video. It's the one posted before this one, and it's called This is the Sign You've Been Asking For. I just bought some crystals online recently. I don't normally buy them online, and I had a great experience. So I'm giving one of the crystals away just because you guys deserve a special treat. It will be sent to the winner, Reiki charged by me, with some other small treats as well. And I will ship worldwide, so no matter where in the world you are, you can enter. And if you want to check out the company that I purchased this from, they're called Carpe Crystals. All their information is in the description box below. You will also find it on the giveaway video, so go and check that out. But let's get some cards for you. We're going to go really in depth today. We're going to bring forward all the details. We're going to use oracle cards and charms. Let's see, what do you need to know? Pile 3. We've got the Knight of Swords. Wow, the Ace of Swords. That's the the 6 of Wands in reverse. The Hanged Man in reverse. 4 of Wands in reverse. The 4 of Cups. The Empress. And the Queen of Pentacles. Wowza. Something shifted in the energy, I swear. Very interesting. Overall, really positive energy is coming up today. Right, I'm going to get some of these cards for you. This is a really cool new deck that I received from one of my viewers. I don't know who yet. If you sent me this, thank you very much. I did mention it in the intro. It's called the Crystal Grid Deck. And I love this. It basically gives guidance on what the crystals are for. What's really intriguing is the same cards, exactly the same cards in the same position came up for piles 1 and 2. So I'm intrigued to see what comes out for you guys. As you know, I'm obsessed with crystals, and I'm quite obsessed with this deck. I love that it's hexagon shaped as well, even though it makes it really awkward to shuffle. Too many there, so we'll put them back. And I think, you know, giving you guidance on what crystals you can work with is really sweet. And they're really easy to work with. Don't be intimidated. You know, it's as simple as just having them in your possession, wearing them on your person as jewellery, or I like to pop the smaller stones in my bra where they can stay close. Sometimes I sleep holding one, which is really intriguing. I have a crystal. I had a twin quartz crystal, which it's split in half, and I gave my twin the other half. And when I sleep with that, I wake up still holding it in the morning. It's really magical. But anyway, let's do this. What crystals are coming up for you? Okay, so we've got rhodonite, turquoise, which is what's on my wrist, and tree agate. So agate was one of the ones that came up for the other, but this is a very specific type of agate that's being recommended to you. We'll read these cards in the reading. Let's get some oracle cards as well. From the Spirit Animals deck, or the Animal Spirit deck. I always forget, this is a deck by the Wild Unknown. It's one of my favourite animal decks. I love animal decks. Earthworm, snake, and horse. Someone asked me the other day if I'm OCD. I actually commented on one because I like to straighten the cards, but I just want them to look nice for you. It's pleasing to the eye, isn't it, when they're all aligned? And you know, it gives me something to do in my hands while I'm chatting. But I'm not OCD, no, not by any stretch. We've got Surrender, Isis, Goddess of Magic, and Sekhmet, Goddess of Rage, and we've got Openness. Okay, and I'm going to get a few more. We'll just put out what we can on the table, and then we'll get some more as we go. We're going to use charms as well. Manifestation and soulmates. Beautiful energies. Oh, I just got a full wave of body tingles and shivers. I love that. This is a very powerful connection, part 3. From the Beyond Lemuria deck, this was a gift from my lovely student Liliana. She's such a sweet treat. You guys really spoil me with decks. Thank you so much. Balanced Forces. And the Sound of the Universe. Okay, part 3. What do you need to know about your person? What you're not seeing, what's hidden. Forgive me for straightening the cards. Like I said, I just like them to look nice for you. Okay. What's really interesting about this is the sheer amount of power in this connection. We've got Goddess of Magic and Manifestation. There's a lot of power. There's a huge positive charge in this connection right now. Your person feels it. They feel it big. This is a very transformative connection. And there's a very strong impulse from your person right now to charge forward and communicate. They're desperate to share truth, but there's a great deal of apprehension around that as well. I want to get another card because I want to know what it is. What is it they want to share truth around? Got the 7 of Wands in reverse. They want to let their guard down. They want to show you that they can be vulnerable and that you've got nothing to be nervous about here. I'm hearing there's a very real obstacle in the way of you two actually coming together. What is that, please, Spirit? It's the 10 of Swords. Okay, so there's a great deal of healing that still needs to occur here. And we have got the 4 of Wands in reverse. You know, this person has been through some really, really challenging situations recently. And I do feel that you two have a very mature connection. You know, you're both quite grounded people. You're very pragmatic. I do get a lot of air energy here and a lot of earth energy. Just very grounded, very practical energies, very intellectual. I'm hearing that some of you may work in education or maybe even the sciences. It's something very academic. Research, studying, sharing information, very intellectual energies here. Again, I've just got this beautiful full body shivers. Wow. What's really unique about this is, again, the very mature outlook of both of you, because I do think you're both very aware of the obstacles that you each face in bringing this connection together, and you're able to kind of both see it from this much, much higher perspective, more so you than them. But this person really needs to talk to you about something. And honestly, I feel like at this point in time, they need to ask for alone time. They need a little bit of space to work through the dramas and the really challenging circumstances that are going on in their life. They want to be receptive to you, and they want to continuing nurturing this connection. And so they're very cautious about opening up this conversation because they want to make sure they articulate themselves properly. But the impulse here to talk to you is big. It's really strong. It's like it's on the tip of their tongue and they have to keep restraining themselves. You know, there's this kind of idea of not yet, it's not right, I've not quite figured out how to place this. And they want to handle it carefully because they don't want to do any damage. They don't want to wreck what you two have already worked for. And I feel like neither one of you was actually available when you met. There's some kind of obstacle here. It's either a geographic distance, maybe you're both involved with someone else. It's not clear. But what is clear is that you're both aware of this blockage and obstacle. And, you know, for this 10 of Swords to come up clarifying that, there's a need to resolve something internally. For each of you, there's some healing that needs to be done, something that needs to be put to bed and transmuted, and they need some time out, some time alone to do that. They're very nervous that if they say to you, look, I'm not ready to bring this together right now, that you will get the wrong idea, you will feel rejected, and it could kind of sabotage what you two have. And so they're very reluctant. Now, I do feel that in their kind of in this energy that they've been in of kind of, you know, not being uncertain, wanting to put the brakes on, they've probably already given you a bit of an indication. Maybe they've already gone cold. I'm hearing inadvertently so, but they are so worried about hurting you. They're so worried about sabotaging this connection. They want to leave the door wide open, and they want to find a way to communicate to you that it's just a not now. It's not a not ever. What's really beautiful about this is the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. You know, this person holds you in very high esteem. They see you as that committed partner. The Queen of Pentacles for me is the commitment card, the spouse energy. And we've got this divine feminine energy with the Empress. You know, they really feel so much nurturing, loving, affectionate energy from you. They recognize how wise and strong you are. They love your independence. They love your ability to get above your emotional self and to communicate. But they've noticed that when things get quite intense, that you kind of lose your center point when it comes to that being able to elevate yourself above emotions. On the one hand, whilst you can be quite pragmatic, when the energy catches you, you can kind of tumble off that center point and kind of be a bit unpredictable with how you might react emotionally. And so, you know, they've not worked out that this could be down to other things going on in your life. I'm hearing for those of you that are females that are expressing the divine feminine energy, that your menstrual cycle has a dramatic impact on how you interact with this person, and they've not figured that out. You know, that you are literally a different person sometimes, and it does feel like there's a hormonal shift sometimes that creates that different persona, different way of responding. It's a little bit of a kind of unpredictable energy with you. They're never quite sure how you're going to react. They trust you, but they don't trust the energy because they know that the energy is unpredictable. So they just can't see right now how this connection can work because of this external force or blockage that exists in your connection. But they do see so much power here. They see so much love and so much joy available to them through this. I'm hearing that both of you have grown tremendously since you met one another. And, you know, they're really inspired by how you are approaching your healing and your growth. It feels like you are very, very determined and focused on that at the moment. We've got this energy of surrender here. They're recognizing you as someone that is whole and complete in and of themselves, you know, that yes, they want a loving relationship, but there's also this recognition here that, you know, you're very comfortable and happy without them. I feel like there's not many conversations that are off topic for you two, and that's what they love about you, that you're so open-hearted, open-minded, and that, you know, they can kind of have such a broad range of conversation with you. It's just so grounded and so very transformative. The energy of the horse for me represents your intelligence and your intuition. And again, we've got, you know, this energy of manifestation, goddess of magic, and this manifestation energy, this beautiful balance and centeredness. You know, they see you as very abundant, very accomplished. I'm hearing that they're excited to introduce you to their family at some point. You know, you're the sort of person they'd be proud to be seen with, proud to you know, be connected to. You know, they really do see you as someone very, very special. But they are afraid of how you're going to react. And I'm feeling it's because you may have made plans together already, and they now need to backtrack on that and say, actually, now is not the time. And I know that we had plans, but I don't feel able to move forward with that. There's something else that needs to be resolved here. Again, I want to try and get some clarifiers. Spirit's being a bit ambiguous. Okay, so that's the Four of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. Yeah, so, I mean, we had that Ten of Swords up. It actually feels like it's, even though we describe this as an external circumstance, I think it's more connected to how they're triggered by their environment, and also how they become unhealthily attached in certain situations. It's almost like they can feel themselves on this slope, and they're sliding down it. They feel out of control, and they recognize this isn't healthy. They recognize that there's something in them that still needs to be healed, and probably in you as well. And they've been very inspired by your healing example. You know, it's you that's guided them towards therapy, towards meditation, towards improving and helping self. And now that they're on that path, they're recognizing the need to have space to explore it independently. And so they're very keen to communicate that this isn't a rejection of you, and they're very afraid of your reaction. They're very afraid that you're going to feel rejected, that you're going to be angry, and that this is going to kind of awaken the beast in you, because they've seen you kind of kick off and have these explosive reactions before. It's always very unexpected, and again, the unpredictable nature kind of keeps them on edge. So there is something they need to discuss here with you, and it's probably along the lines of, I'm really sorry, but whatever plans we had, you know, now is not the time, unfortunately. You know, I really need to kind of focus on this transformation. And I'm hearing this transformation has to happen. You know, the snake has to shed skin. If it doesn't shed skin, it dies. And so the snake being a symbol of creation, and the Ouroboros, a very powerful symbol in soulmate connections, you know, they have to find their way back to wholeness, just like you have. And like you have had the time to pursue that energy independently, they're going to need this as well. The earthworm, and again, this energy of balanced forces that's coming through, you know, I think is very reassuring. And obviously we had triagate energy. Again, these very earthy energies really demonstrate how grounded this connection is. This person does see, you know, that you are someone they want to commit to. And it's not the case that they, you know, they don't want to be with you. It's a not now energy. I'm not ready for this. You know, we've got this soulmate energy. I feel like they know that they can trust this connection is eternal, and that it's going to be ready and waiting for them when you're both ready to receive it. You know, they're listening to the sound of their own intuition. It's a powerful impulse guiding them back towards themselves. They are really desperate to talk to you about this, but again, afraid of bringing it up. Let's look at the crystal cards. Rhodonite, compassion, yin-yang, and fertility. Rhodonite is a stone of brotherly love, the shared connection between all of humanity. Equilibrium is the key for this crystal, which has the capacity to calibrate emotions, balance yin and yang, and source energy from a grounded place. It can bring light to emotional scars from the past, transforming them to foster a stable everyday life. Rhodonite helps remove blame from the situation, whether it's pointed at you or someone else. Accept the situation for what it is, and learn to forgive yourself with love and compassion in the process. This is Taurus Mars energy as well. So this is really beautiful advice for you, you know, and if you can pick up a piece of rhodonite and use it, you know, to help you balance this, it is asking you to receive your person, you know, from a place of integrity, to remove blame from the situation and to accept it for what it is, and to try and hold compassion for one another in the process. That yin-yang energy reminds us that there's energies here that have to be balanced, and that it doesn't serve you to restrict that from happening. I do have a piece of rhodonite here. This is also one from Carpe Crystals. This is what it looks like if you're interested in getting a piece of it. Let's have a look. Turquoise. So this is what is on this bracelet here. It's very much associated with Native American Indian culture. It's peace, tranquility, and patience. Tranquil and calm, turquoise reminds you that there are gifts in the everyday, and each moment in your life matters. Small things add up and become big things over time. Have patience for all of your labours of love, including yourself. Regarded as a bridge between heaven and earth, turquoise is a sacred stone in many Native American traditions and used as a source of healing and connection. Linked to the heavens within yourself, the parts that bring you joy and remind you of your own inner magic. And that's Scorpio, Sagittarius, Pisces, Jupiter, Venus, Neptune energy. I do think there's a Venus-Neptune conjunction at the moment. you know, that obviously connects powerfully to how we relate to one another in relationships and love. And again, you're guided to bring the energy of peace, tranquility and patience, remembering how hard you've had to work to get into this surrender energy, and honouring your person, you know, with the space to do the same. Triagate. That's a picture of Triagate on the back. I don't have a piece to show you, unfortunately. Triagate is a stable force that grounds you back to earth, rooting you to the core of your being. A stone in resonance with nature, Triagate asks that you nurture the seeds you have planted and provide enough sustenance for them to succeed. Weed out the negative energy and naysayers, including your inner critic, and know that despite it all, you are good enough. Triagate promotes security in moments of growth, so you feel safe as you expand in your journey. Follow your truth and know that you are supported along the way. And this is Virgo in Mercury. So this is about communicating at a practical level. And this stone's going to help you find that inner peace and inner security, you know, to remind you that you are good enough, that this isn't a personal rejection of you, that your person genuinely needs this space to expand. And hopefully you can lovingly and patiently allow them the room to do that. What else do you need to know about your person? Pile 3. Okay, we've got the Lovers in reverse, the Three of Wands in reverse, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and the Hierophant. Let's get some of these Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine Reunited cards. We've got Karma, Separation, Athena, and Mary Magdalene, Goddess of Love, Goddess of Wisdom, Goddess of Love. And some more animals, please. The Starfish, the Lamb, that's come out in all piles today, the Rabbit, and the Gazelle. The animals really, really indicate how vulnerable your person feels and how reluctant they are towards becoming attached. That's a very real concern of theirs. Now, remember, we had this 10 of Swords energy. This is often connected to betrayal and stabbing in the back. And again, we've got this karmic energy indicated, which shows a couple in conflict. And also the masculine here showing up as a savior. And so I do feel like the relationships they were involved in previously was very manipulative. You know, it may have been like the victim and kind of villain energy, or the victim rescuer energy in that connection. And they still feel maybe very responsible for that relationship, even if it's passed or crossed. But they are very afraid of being attached. Remember, the Starfish is a very clingy energy, and there's something still clinging on from the past. That means they're not able to meet you in the middle. They're not able to embody that lover's energy. They also don't trust in fulfillment. I'm hearing that they're very easily triggered by your gregarious nature. You know, I'm hearing that you are a very attractive person, not just in terms of your physicality, but you're a good catch. And they know that you're very much in demand. You know, they see how active you are on social media, how much attention you get, whether for your accomplishments or otherwise. It just feels like, you know, you are a catch. And they're really worried that someone else is going to kind of come in and steal you away from them. And, you know, this Queen of Swords energy in reverse. Again, we've got a lot of very similar messages coming out as to in the first round of cards. You know, they're afraid of your wrath. And they're afraid if you get too bitter and resentful that this time you're going to run, and you're going to run into the arms of someone else. They don't like this vulnerable energy. Again, you know, these are all prey. Lamb, rabbit, gazelle, they're all prey, you know, and I think this really demonstrates how afraid they are of losing you and how out of control they actually feel. These are shadow aspects that I don't think they've necessarily consciously acknowledged. And so I'm hearing that these are things that aren't just hidden to you, but hidden to them as well. Because both of you seem so very mature, so pragmatic, so confident. But there's a lot of inner fears here born of this person's previous interactions. And I'm hearing this is why they also fear your rage. Because they've never been able to have comfortable, safe communication in previous interactions with other people, other relationships. And so the energy of that trauma and expectation feeds in to their feelings when it comes to opening up to you. They do understand that there's a lot for you both to learn. I posted a quote this morning on my page by Eckhart Tolle. Let me see if I can find it quickly so I can read it to you. You can obviously go onto my community page and read it for yourself, but I'm just going to bring it up here. Where is it? Here it is, Eckhart Tolle. So it says, when you have removed the two factors that are destructive to relationships, when the pain body has been transmuted and you are no longer identified with the mind and mental positions, and if your partner has done the same, you will experience the bliss of the flowering of relationship. Instead of mirroring to each other your pain and your unconsciousness, instead of satisfying your mutual addictive ego needs, you will reflect back at each other the love that you feel deep within, the love that comes with a realization of your oneness with all that is. This is the love that has no opposite. So this is about balance. You know, it's about each of you recognizing that when you heal your individual pain, you can come together in a very profound and meaningful way. And this is what this person wants. They want to honor this connection with maturity, openness, love, authenticity, and they're recognizing that they're not healed enough and ready enough to do this. Now, this is really beautiful because quite often masculine energy isn't accountable for themselves in that way. They don't see that they need to work on themselves. And so even though this is frustrating for you because you're so ready for this, you feel so ready for it and they're not, it's also really powerful that they're recognizing the higher learning that they're being, you know, commanded to step into. They understand that they need to find their own balance and harmony on the inside, that they need to tap into their own strength and wisdom. And you as a divine feminine is what's inspired them to move in that direction. And, you know, you mustn't kick yourself because, you know, they're very much feeling now that because of you, they are able to actually see, you know, where their weaknesses are. As I said, they're not consciously aware of all these shadow aspects, but they intuitively know there's healing to be done here, and that actually they do feel unhealthily attached sometimes in this connection, and that that's not conducive to the flowering of the relationship that Eckhart describes in that quote. So really beautiful energies here. Unfinished symphony. Please trust this isn't over. It really isn't over. You're moving towards completion. You know, both of you are mending. The thinker. This person never stops thinking about you. You're always on their mind. And we've got chaos and conflict. And, you know, you may ask yourself, well, if this person really loves and cares about me and wants to be with me, why would they let me go? You know, why would they risk that? If their fear and insecurity is that I might run into the arms of someone else, why would they take that risk? The fact that you ask this question reveals a lot about your own state of surrender and what you're clinging on to, because you're not perceiving that from a place of authenticity either. And this is why this person is scared to discuss it with you. You know, you're so determined to get what you want that there is that energy of impatience. There is that energy of, come on, I want it now. And, you know, you're frustrated that it's not moving at the pace you want it. That shows you where you still need to heal. You know, this chaos and conflict that still surrounds this connection, I feel is still under the rug. You know, neither one of you really confronts it. You're both very good at showing up and pretending everything's okay and just kind of rolling with it. But ultimately, it doesn't serve you to do that. You know, again, I know I say this all the time, but we can't skip chapters. And it's actually really beautiful that your person's recognizing this. You know, you need to recognize it as truth as well and try to override that impatience. We've got the tribe, round and round, never-ending story, and new life. So again, you've got two cards here that remind you this person knows it's not over. They're not walking away for good. They're lovingly wanting to ask you for the space to do the healing work that they need to do and that they know that you still need to do. You know, it's a very mature outlook, very evolved person you're dealing with here. I feel like you're both, if not mature in age, you know, you're very mature spiritually and emotionally. They see you as part of their family. You know, there's a deep unconditional love here that they know will last the test of time. And these mending cycles, these healing cycles, these are patterns that you've both been moving through for some time. They're divinely guided. They're purposeful. Even though you may be frustrated by this unresolved karma and their need to heal, you of all people understands the value of importance of it. And I think it's really beautiful that you've got this new life energy. You know, this reminds you what you're both walking towards together, that your past will reconvene at a later date, and that, you know, you are both moving towards a life together. And I know you expected that new life now, and your person may have promised it, but you've got to forgive them for realizing that now is not the time. They're not trying to mess around with you. They're not trying to mislead you. That was never their intention. But they are having this recognition now, and they're scared to act upon it because they don't know how you're going to react. We've got God of transformation, Osiris, unconditional love, transcendence, 2 number 3 cards here, so much divine feminine energy, and another number 3, inner child. So yeah, there's so much transformation that they need to do. The inner child has come up twice here, because look at this card here. Now, this person may have had 2 mothers, or maybe they had no mothers and they were raised by different people. But there is an inner child wound connected to the maternal caregiving connection in their youth that needs to be transformed. And again, we've got divine feminine energy here as coming up as being something that's triggering. Even though it's triggering in a positive, powerful way, it is kind of revealing the deeper layers and wounds that need to be addressed here. You know, in truth, they don't know what they're looking for. They just know that something about this connection doesn't feel right now, and they're trusting their inner guidance and intuition, but they're not necessarily trusting you to receive their truth. Very powerful. You've got to think about what that means. You know, someone needs truth and trust is a mutual energy. One person can't show up with truth, integrity and honesty if the other is not able to stand in truth and honesty and receive it with an open heart. So, you know, we have to create space for truth and honesty to occur. And this is what you're being asked to do. We've got the Rainbow Reviver, intimacy, the distorted masculine, and the gardener. Okay, so this intimacy card's jumped out at me straight away. I'm hearing that there is a deep intimacy at an emotional level for you two. I'm looking at them being submerged together in the water, so calm, you know, really holding one to one another. You know, as a general rule of thumb, they do feel very safe with you. They've never been able to express themselves as intimately as they are able to with you. And this is something they value. You bring so much light into this person's life. And in doing so, you will illuminate all of their distortions. And you've got to let them get to work on it now. The garden is an interesting one to come up. For me, the garden is a powerful metaphor for life and healing. You know, it's constantly transient, it's changing, it's growing, it's dying back again and becoming renewed. And we see the divine feminine on Mother Earth represented here in all of the trees. The inspiration, you know, behind this, the butterflies that represent the transformation that occurs when this person has the space to bring their own garden into bloom. So you've got to trust that you have revived this person, and that this space you're offering, that this space they need you to lovingly offer and accept is what's going to allow them to really bring, you know, everything back into bloom on the inside. They want to be their best self for you. You know, they don't want to let you down. They want this to work out. So let's get some guidance cards for you before I take this over to the extended. What's the guidance for you, pile 3? I'm going to get some tarot and oracle and the charms. We've got Temperance. We've got the 10 of Cups in reverse. we've got the 8 of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse, one more, and the 2 of Wands. And from the Whispers of the Oracle deck, Serendipity, Loyal Heart, Higher Power, and Orphaned. And from the charms, just give these a good shake. Well, that's 5 pence. We'll keep that one. There's quite a few here. I just trashed my crystal grid. I've got to straighten it out. It really annoys me when it's not straight. It's like I can feel this distortion of the energies. I know. I promise you I'm not really OCD. Okay. Dusk until dawn. The stethoscope. Oh. I'm trying, and that's enough. I don't know why these aren't focusing. There we go. Fake news. The hourglass. This has come out in all piles today. The iPod. The bitch spray. The Losers Club. Slightly bitter. Black like my heart. I believe. And finally, the gramophone. Okay. Guidance for you, pile 3. Temperance. Remember we had that yin yang come up? Look at this. This is a very twin flamey card anyway. Temperance is about perfect alchemy, perfect balance or chemistry. And we see this beautiful meeting of the minds in truth. But part of each of them is missing. You know, the tops of their heads, which contains the higher chakras, the third eye and the crown, is missing here. And they're really processing energy of the throat chakra. Now, in the twin flame connection, the chakras actually represent stages of the journey, and the throat is the stage of truth, integrating truth. Each of you are balancing your own truth right now. You know, I don't know why my camera's not auto-focusing. There we go. You know, each of you are working on balancing your own energies, and this is where it needs to be. Again, the 10 of Cups is in reverse. This is a very clear message that now is not the time for union. You cannot force this. You can't force this. There's a real need to accept how it is and to trust that it's going to work. This is the 8 of Pentacles, the energies of work and diligence. And look, it says here, don't panic. It's going to be okay. Number 42 adds up to the energy of 6. That's the energy of unconditional love. You know, you don't need to try and have a plan or a strategy in terms of how to make this work with this Page of Pentacles. This is not for you to control or direct, pile 3. You know, there are no decisions to be made here. It's their decision and you really need to respect it. Now, you can choose to walk away, but, you know, they're really begging you with this bitch spray not to come out in that distorted Queen of Swords energy or guns blazing, and, you know, to fight them in this. And there is an indication that you may be feeling that way. We've got, you're a loser. Oh, it's really annoying me that this isn't focusing. Slightly bitter. You're a loser. You know, there's this energy of you feeling quite annoyed, quite triggered that this person has kind of backtracked. And, you know, again, they weren't trying to undermine you or to mess you around. That message is coming through very strong. That this is simply how it needs to be. And the more gracefully you can accept that, you know, the more you can create space for this connection to move forward in the way that it's meant to. You can really easily recognize that, you know, this desperate longing is coming from ego. You know, it's not coming from your true heart. You know, There's a lot of powerful things about this relationship that you're being asked to recognize. You know, this person knows how to apologize when they're wrong. You know, they're able, for the most part, to communicate in a really honest way with you. They honor your boundaries. You know, they do show up authentically. They're loyal to you, and they're actively working on their own healing. They're really intentional about resolving conflict. You know, you both have compatible goals for relationships, and you make one another feel seen and heard. This person, you know, they speak about their exes with respect, perhaps with, you know, they might be honest about how they feel, but there's respect there, you know, and they do want to show up authentically, and they try and create space for you to do the same. So it's really important to hold all of that in mind when this information comes rolling in. I really think they're going to ask, you know, for time alone. And, you know, true intimacy can only happen when each of you allows the other that freedom to be themselves. You know, that's when you really see each other for who you really are, when you can just be yourselves and you're not afraid to do what you need to do that's right for you. You're not afraid to let, you know, the other do what's needed for them. This is all about acceptance. It's all about acceptance. Serendipity, trust that this is a blessed connection. There is a higher power at work here. But, you know, this person has to work through that abandonment wound. It's very strong. Again, I feel like it goes back to the maternal caregivers in their situation. And it's something that's been buried for a really long time. So, you know, they're going to need this space to work through that. You're being asked to listen really carefully and not to judge, to not read between the lines. This person's trying to show up as authentically as they can. They think about you all the time. You are never far from their mind. They feel this connection with the same depth and power that you do. Again, with the stethoscope. Please listen. You know, I'm trying to share the truth. I'm trying to be real and honest. Again, you know, this is you thinking that they're finding excuses. They're putting it off again. And I'm hearing this is because that previously it's taken a long time for you to get here to the point where they're actually agreeing, you know, to some kind of resolution and forward movement in this relationship. And so now you've got here, you know, you kind of might feel that they're making excuses, and I really don't think they are. I'm trying, and that's enough, and it has to be enough. We can only ever try our best. You know, your frustration is born of them not meeting your expectations. But if someone's trying their best, we can't expect more than that of them. They believe in divine timing. They believe in the energy of, you know, the shadow being transmuted into light, because you've shown them how to do that. They believe in you. They believe in this connection. They want you to believe in it as well. 5 pence. We've got the Queen's head here as well. You know, this transformation is strongly connected to the family unit. And there's the energy of service here as well. There's something else that needs to be resolved there. They feel very bad about this. They know that this is going to be hard and triggering for you. And, you know, they're very, very considerate of your needs. But they have to put themselves first. That's what you've taught them. And that's what they're hoping, you know, you can stay aligned with. But this person feels very lucky to have you in their life. They feel lucky to have met someone they can trust. And they're hoping that you can trust them in this situation. I'm going to take this over to the extended now. We're going to go deeper. We're going to get messages from their higher self, look at their thoughts and feelings, get some more guidance for you. If this has resonated, you can find all of the links to the extended in the description box below. Hopefully I'll see you there. But if not, pardon me, if not, thank you so much for tuning in and being with me here. As I said in my intro today, it really is an honour to read for you. I learned so much through these readings myself. They're as much for me as they are for you, and I appreciate that through you I have the opportunity, you know, to heal alongside you. It really is a magical place to be, and I'm so very grateful. Thank you for hitting the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please do comment down below and tell me if this resonated. I love to hear your feedback. It also helps to make a note of which pile you've watched, because these are timeless readings and YouTube will undoubtedly guide you back to this reading at a later date when you need it. And if you've made a note of which pile you've watched, you'll know not to go over old ground. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. It really helps my channel to grow, and if you find your way back to my videos anyway, it means you'll get those notifications. I did notice when I looked at my stats that only about 40% of my viewers actually subscribe, and I'm assuming that maybe some of you just don't want to or don't enjoy my content. But for those of you that do, it really does make the biggest difference to my channel when you hit that subscribe button, because it tells YouTube that you want to engage, and that, you know, that helps them understand whether or not they should promote me more. So I really appreciate it when you subscribe, and it means we can be friends, and you'll know when I'm, you know, back online. I'm going to be doing some live healing events soon as well, and you'll be the first to know about all of my other initiatives. So hit the subscribe button if you feel inclined, and thank you. And a big thanks to those of you that watch my commercials. It's such a beautiful way to exchange energy, and I really appreciate how generously you give your time, for the donations you send me as well. You guys are so amazing. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.